I'm Ellis O'Connor and I'm a landscape artist, and I'm from Scotland and I now live on the Isle of Skye, and I've been self-employed as an artist now for about 8 years and graduated from Dundee College of Art and Design in 2014. So I mainly work in oil painting, but my style is very gestural and expressive. So it's also quite abstract as well, actually. So I spend a lot of time out in different places, immersing myself in different environments, and I'll do some initial sketches and things where I am, but actually I'll wait to do the bigger pieces on canvas until I'm back in my studio, and then basically all of the experiences that I've immersed myself in and environments where I've been then come out of my head onto the canvas. So it's more of an emotional response to the landscape. It's my interpretation. It's not in any way photorealistic because I find that kind of work quite boring for myself and it doesn't lend itself well to my style, and I could just take a photo if I wanted to. So it's much more about my emotional response to a landscape and how I felt at the time immersed in it. It's like landscapes from my head. I like to do a mix, but mainly work on a big scale. I find the big work lends itself much more to my style. I really love using like really big brushes and doing like really big brush strokes and lots of different things, and a lot of energy and power goes into them, so I just prefer working on a big scale for that, but also because I think it makes much more of a dramatic impact. But I do work small now and then because I think it's important for my work to be accessible as much as possible. And I want to have work that challenges people, that it's not like a really flat, pretty landscape. Like I want work that people feel the power and the energy and like the force of it, because they can be really brutal when you're in these places, and I love that. Like I never feel more alive as what I do when I'm in a landscape that's very elemental. For me, it's always that exploration and development of how I can get that feeling across in big artwork so people can feel that power and significance of nature as well. 6 years ago I went to Svalbard in the high Arctic on an art residency, and then I went back there again just last year. And so it was to go back to see how much the landscape had changed, because basically Svalbard is one of the places in the world where climate change is most apparent because it's the northernmost landmass. So for me, I found it really imperative as an artist and as a maker and a thinker whose work engages with the environment to see from my own eyes how much that landscape's changed. So it was really devastating actually and heartbreaking, and to have the privilege of being able to go to these places is amazing, but also like I find it so important to then create work from what I've seen, or create work in a way that responds to that place that people can connect with, and then it can open up conversations and dialogue about that place. And so the whole body of work is my response to the high Arctic. And I knew from the get-go of being an artist that it's very difficult to create paintings in a way that shows how a glacier's receded so much in such a short space of time. However, I realised I can create artwork that is much more showing the power and the significance of the landscape, so that people can feel that on an emotional level and engage with it in that way, and hopefully move people so then they want to know more about these places, because I think when it's so far away and so, it's such an abstract feeling of the high Arctic, a lot of people don't really know much about it, so they're not so engaged in what's going on up there. So it's to try and bring it back down into conversations here. After experiencing being on a really big tall ship in the high Arctic, whenever I see the Discovery now, I'm like, okay, wow. Like for me, like being on the sea is one of my favourite things ever. The sense of adventure, the sense of unknown, discovery, all of that. So it really excites me when I see it and inspires me as well. And I'm also doing an artist talk at the Discovery here on the 11th of March, and I think that'll be a really good time because basically it'll be able to bring people in to see the show again or see it for the first time if they've not seen it. And the talk is basically going to involve me talking about my experience of being in the high Arctic, and then I'm going to bring sketchbooks and like smaller pieces because I want to show people how I work when I'm outside in these extreme landscapes. And you can see in some of the sketchbooks there's like frozen bits of paint and all of that, but then they've inspired the bigger pieces on canvas that you could see as well. So it'll be an exploration of the voyage in the high Arctic, but it'll also be an exploration of my practice and how I create and the sort of meanings behind the works that are on the walls here.